reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. You're listening to LOTRO Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon at doghousesystems.com.
Welcome to LOTRO Reporter, episode 235.
Peanuts.
I'm sorry?
Peanuts.
I don't like peanuts.
You don't like peanuts?
Nope, don't like peanut butter. Unless it
End the show.
We're done?
We're done.
I'm dead to you because I don't like peanut butter. I like almond butter, and if there's enough sugar and chocolate covering the peanut butter, I will eat it. Such as Reese's peanut butter cups, which are Bill's favorite as well.
What about pecans?
Mm-hmm. Hi, Layanor. How you doing?
Hello, minions. Apparently, I am hungry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go get the chocolate peanut butter stuff, Nutella, and be happy.
Oh, I might get that, but I don't know. My voice is kind of weird and stuff still from the stuff that was bothering me, so I better not eat any of that. I do, however, have a small little thing of what are these called? Smarties, I think they're called.
Yep, we can hear you eat it. Yep.
Yeah. I haven't eaten any yet, but you will.
I don't like Smarties either.
Because we're professionals here. See, Cari and I have been podcasting for so long that when we eat online and on a live show, you can't hear it.
No.
We're that professional.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, we are at episode 235. We are getting dangerously close to episode 250. I mean, we should make it this year unless something really weird happens. We should make it to episode 250 this year.
So 250. Wow, I wonder what we're going to do.
I don't know. I think we should make Bill and Chris do the show.
We'll get the hobbits back.
Yeah, we will get the hobbits back, and maybe we will start asking people now to send us stuff for episode 250. It might take them that long to get it ready. I don't know about you.
Yep.
It took me a long time to decide I wanted to send something in for episode 100.
Yeah, Bill really started pushing on me to actually start recording my Did You Knows, and look what happened.
Yep.
Here I am.
Yeah, and if you follow them around at PAX and just kind of be there every time they turn around, not stalking at all, I promise. Guess what? You do, I will not say that. Anyway, that is far. That's like episode 150 history. That's almost 100 episodes ago.
Yeah, I remember. I remember when you were coming onto the show. I was actually feeling really, really bad because Bill left the show.
Mm-hmm. You're with.
And I was replacing him. And I was only with the MMO network for, maybe like 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, officially. And I was like, man, this really sucks. I was like, Chris, are we getting anybody else? And he's like, yeah, we're getting Cari. From blah blah blah, wherever you lived or whatever. I was like, oh, good, because it was a weight on my shoulders. Bill gave me a chance to get on the show and just act stupid, and I'm glad he did. Yeah. This is a lot of fun. Still having a lot of fun with it.
Yes, it's just
talking about peanuts.
Yeah, and peanut butter and Smarties, because we make such great money that we have to do this every week.
That's right, and we're creative.
Yes, creative outlets. All right, enough of what we did in podcasting this week. How about what you did in game?
I didn't make very much progress in the moors. I am 32.61%. I think I was at 32 point some other number last week, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't very, you haven't gone very far.
Yeah, I haven't gotten, I did get into a whole lot of epic battles though. There is a guy named Bugin that is in our kinship, and he knew a lot of the epic battle stuff, so I started going through a lot of those, and I got up to 190 points to spend in my promotions panel now.
Oh, nice.
So I think the maximum is 218 or something like that.
Oh,
And I'm pretty close. I have platinum rewards and a whole lot of things.
cool.
So I'm really, really happy with that.
Cool.
And I'm having a lot of fun with the trap line where you can put a tripwire down and it'll stun something. And I think the max is it can be triggered 12 or 14 times or something like that.
Okay.
And they'll stay there for like a full 10 seconds.
Nice.
Oh, is it nice? I feel like a lore master.
Stayed there.
And then I got to play my warg in the moors. I just played it today. And it's kind of weird. You've been playing Freepside for the longest time, and you have spiders spitting at you, and you have wargs attacking you, and you have, all the other orcs doing their stuff on you. And then when you're over on Creepside, you see webbing on the ground, and you run across it, and you're like, oh, I got to walk around this. And you're like, wait a minute. No, I don't. I'm a creep. I can walk right over it. So it takes a little bit to adjust to that, maybe a minute. And then you really get into it, and then, you're in there having fun. And that was great. Had a lot of fun doing that today.
That sounds cool.
And what have you been doing other than Skyrim?
I've been doing lots of Skyrim, but I've also been doing festivals, and I've been scolding hobbits and drinking beer and drinking kegs and changing signs around a lot.
Oh.
And stopping shrews. Still don't have any of the shrew pets, though.
You should really be a part of the Ale Association.
Oh, yeah? I don't want to be part of the Ale Association.
You're on Brandywine. It's a totally different thing.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay. They're mean.
You get to smack people harder.
Oh.
That's the difference.
I see. They're mean. I'm not too enthused about any of the cosmetics this year, so I'm not too enthused about, doing too awful much of the festival, but I'm doing enough to have some fun. Still have not made myself do the flower quest yet.
Oh, I haven't even touched the flower thing. I got the ugly horse, and that was it.
Yeah, the tablecloth horse. You're right. It does look like your grandmother's tablecloth. It's pretty not pleasant. But it goes well with the Sorry Turbine Designer's very uninspired robe of the... Who wears a robe in the spring? Anyway, and it's gray. It's not even fun colors. Yeah. So that's about what I did in game this week. There is so much news that we're going to be keeping everybody here for a very long time.
Double bonus points on points. Ooh.
Yeah, through June 2nd.
We're talking turbine points, right?
Yes, we're talking turbine points. Yes.
We're talking every point in the game.
Yeah, sure. Pulling it up now. So, when you purchase points through the turbine store, you get bonus points with those points. So instead of buying 500, you get 700 or 600. Well, now you get 700. And if you want to spend $199.99, you will be purchasing 12,500 points, but you will be getting 21,000 points free for a grand total of 33,500 points.
If you ever want to get a whole bunch of points, today is the day to do it.
Yeah.
This goes all the way up to June 2nd.
Yep. And we have two exciting things out of the Taking the Hobbits to Isengard. The first thing is that one of the art designers handed Sapiens a whole bunch of historical design concept art. So he's going to be releasing it on, and that's where the Angmar statues came from on Twitter. The concept art for that, and then they put up, I guess they put some art up at the beginning of the live streams, and I just put a link in the chat room to some Angmar concept art.
Mm-hmm.
And the other exciting thing that came out of that was somebody asked if they think the free character slots might ever be increased. His answer was, well, not likely, which we kind of knew that. However, the total number of character slots that are unlockable, that's a conversation they are having. There has been talk of increasing the limit from 17 when the Bjorning is released, so people don't have to delete a character to make a Bjorning.
Aww.
I think that was kind of a given. I mean, that would be like really awful to have to delete a high level character to make a new character. But
oh, whatever. It's a bear guy.
Yeah, I know.
Rawr.
Rawr. Anyway, so those who are maxed out on all of their characters, there's an opportunity to maybe purchase more character slots.
And a quick other little note: there are only 3 more Taking Hobbits to Isengard.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know Sapiens was talking about doing something after the.
Yes, he's trying to get roundtables set up.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty interesting.
And then he is thinking of maybe after the roundtables, he's looking at the possibility of taking the Hobbit through Moria.
Oh.
Because with the Gift of the Valor, you can go in at 50, and you can level to 50, and he can just do the pre-quest to get his allies and get into Moria. And so there's a possibility of it taking the Hobbit through Moria. That would be interesting.
I think he should just make a chicken and make the chicken go to Isengard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That would be pretty funny. Excuse me. Pretty funny too.
And Moria would be interesting though.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather see that. That'd be great. And there's no layering too in sections. So if he comes to Brandywine and goes through Moria, we'll probably keep him alive this time.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was wondering how many people would have him people would fall off things and get totally turned around. It's better than it was, but it'd be interesting to see how fast you can get from the one gate to the other gate in Moria.
Oh yeah, that'd be a lot of fun actually. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have a blog post you wanted to tell us about.
Yes, I put out a blog post today, and I've always wanted to put one of these out, but I didn't want to sound very complainy, if that's a word. Things that I would like to see changed in the game or updated. I think somebody put out a post like this, their top 12 things that they wanted to change in the game or something like that, like a while ago.
Yes, Sip likes to do that every so often.
Mm-hmm. So I thought since we don't have too much news, I'd go through it. Number 1, dismounting while farming older area nodes.
Yeah?
So you don't get dismounted in Bree.
Oh.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice.
You find some ore and you take it up and you don't have to get off your horse. Because the rest of the game, the higher level stuff is.
Everything past Rohan.
Rohan. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
but you can also kill stuff on your horse in Rohan. Everything past Rohan. I'm wondering if that's got to do something. It would be cool, but I'm wondering if it's got something to do with what they've got turned on and off.
Yeah, that's kind of a quality life thing.
Yeah.
Why does the Shire still don't have any kind of swift travel through it?
That's a good question.
You remember our 2 grumpy old hobbits talking about that?
Yes.
On the very first episode.
About how the slowesses were so slow. to go
Took him
through.
28 hours to get through the
Yeah,
Shire.
it is a pretty place to ride a pony through, but
Oh, that's real nice.
it
Yeah.
takes a long time.
Okay, I'd like to see the group stage info panel updated. This is something that you hit the your social key, which is I think O, and what it brings up fellowship information, kinship information, but it also brings up how many raids that you have done
Hmm.
that day, and it shows when the locks are up for those raids.
Oh,
And I would really like to see this thing updated so it actually shows the skirmishes that you've done
hmm,
and the war bands that you've killed that day.
that would be nice. Yeah, because war bands are kind of important because you want to know if you need to run from that stupid war band right outside of that town.
Right, and if you did it in the morning and you come home from work and you look at the panel and you're like, oh, I don't even remember which ones I did this morning, you know.
Uh-huh.
So it would be great to actually have that listed somehow.
Yeah.
Instead of, I think some players have made some plugins, but plugins, they get updated and sometimes they don't get updated.
Hmm.
So I would rather just see it through the game anyway. Update skirmish chests to act like raid chests. I've said this over and over and over. I would really like to see the skirmish chests be able to give something every time you run through the instance, the scrade,
Okay.
which is the 12-man version of the skirmish.
Okay.
That there is a full week lock on it.
Okay.
Why that is, I don't know. It should have been updated when they updated all of the instances to not have locks on them.
Mm-hmm.
And the skirmish gear is scaled, but it's not better than any of the instances that are out there. So the gear is lower, and there's a 1 week lock on all of this stuff.
Oh.
Plus, you have to roll.
Yeah.
So there's 2 pieces that drop every time you run, but everybody has to roll. So everybody's going to roll on 2 pieces.
Mm.
So this is very, very it's the old loot system of LOTRO that
Okay.
has just never been updated in this. So I would really like to get that updated. I think I've even written a whole blog post about that.
Yeah, that does seem to be kind of interesting. If they been able to update the old instances with this new loot system, why not these?
Yeah. I'd like to see a lot of the 2-man crafting instances, 2-man. I'd like to see a lot of the crafting instances made into 2-mans.
Okay.
That's just kind of simple quality of life thing. Take someone with you.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? They said that that's what they did with the epic battles in the beginning. They were all solo, and then they just kind of bumped up the number to let somebody else in. They didn't change any of the mobs. They didn't change any of the damage. They didn't change any of the quests. It's all one, it's all solo,
Uh-huh.
but they just allowed somebody to come in along with you to do it. So do that in a couple other areas. It doesn't really matter in these crafting instances. You're just going through getting nodes of ore and stuff like that and killing things.
Mm-hmm.
That's no big deal. It's not like it's going to break the game or something.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of neat.
Yeah.
This is a spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's gone through the Wildemore story
Mm-hmm.
knows that you fight the big giant at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big, huge, round area, and you got to do a couple things, like blowhorn and stuff at specific times, and you solo the whole thing.
Yeah.
Why isn't this a 6-man instance?
I don't know.
Or even a 3? I kind of got the feeling that this probably was going to be an instance because there was no instance in this pack at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that maybe they just kind of rushed it a little bit and said, well, just make it a part of the story and that's it.
Okay.
That's my feeling, though. I have no proof.
Okay.
But why? Why isn't it? This is a cool thing. This was a cool battle. I don't understand why this wasn't a 3-man or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just really weird. But I would like to see that changed. Even though that's never going to happen because that's part of the story.
Yeah. But it'd be nice if you could Well, they scaled down in the epic story when you Candaith, when you go up to Weathertop in the epic story with Candaith, they
Mm-hmm.
had to scale that down to be soloable, and you still have a choice to either go solo it or go with a group of friends. When you get to
Hmm.
that point, you have to pick one or the other because it was actually stopping people's progress in the epic story because they couldn't find anybody to do it with.
Oh, I see. Actually, they have gone through a lot of the epic story where they made it so you could have a couple people come in with you, or you just get this big, huge, awesome buff and walk in.
Yeah, yeah. The only place that I recall in the epic story is where you have to choose to go solo or go with a group is going to Weathertop with Candaith that
Hmm.
first time. Um, After that, it's like, okay, if you're by yourself, you're going to get the buff. If
Hmm.
you're with a group, you're not going to get the buff, kind of thing.
Right. Agmar and Lothlorien both have these defendable instances where you just hold the line and orcs come running at you and killing stuff, try to kill you.
Hmm.
There are some key strategic things in there too, and they're really cool. They're really cool. I wish I went. I wish I did them when I was on level with um, the expansions that were out at the time,
Yeah.
and unfortunately I missed them. I leveled way past that by the time. Um, I think I got max level at Mirkwood, so I passed everything.
Yeah.
Um, so these are skirmishes. These are skirmishes before there were skirmishes.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see these updated and put somewhere, especially the Agmar ones. I love Agmar.
Yeah. It's interesting. After
Interesting.
you get past the stupid stones that kill you, it actually is not. It's got some interesting pockets of fun. I still
Hmm.
get terribly frustrated trying to figure out exactly where I need to go.
Hmm.
Because well, there's a couple of them that if you don't get on the exact right path that leads you up around the valley, you're never gonna get there ever.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But after you've done it a couple of times and like, almost screeched in frustration and you figure, found it, you don't forget really. But
Mm.
it is kind of frustrating.
Um, I've gone into instances and something would happen at the end. Somebody killed the boss too fast, or we messed up the challenge, or there's deeds that we need to do, so we need to keep going back into it over and over and over,
Mm-hmm.
and our instance panel will not clear. Now I've had many people complain about this, and I don't know why they never changed it. Basically, if you try to make the instance again from the instance panel,
Mm-hmm.
you go right back into the same instance that you were in.
Oh, okay.
Everything's dead already. The challenge has already failed or whatever that you screwed up. And even if you disband all the way and bring back everybody, even just a couple people,
Uh-huh.
and you start up the instance, it's the same instance. It is the same exact instance. So what you need to do, you need to make a different instance to go into,
Uh-huh.
and then make the right one that you want to go into.
I
And it never fails, never fails. Somebody always goes into the other instance that you're using to clear the other instance. Always, 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 always.
Oh. Well, now,
It's just a pain in the butt.
yeah, you do know they did that on purpose, right? They didn't want you guys to go in and do that farming like that you were doing with some of the instances where,
Well, that's what the instance cap is.
okay, but or somebody forgot, oh no, I forgot I have to go pick up the XYZ. I left it. At least I can go back in and do it now. So I'm sure they did this on purpose. I would
Mm-hmm.
think though that after, 5 or 10 minutes, it would have cleared itself,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, we're talking gamers here.
I know.
5 or 10 minutes is a bit long. You know, they're all jacked up on Mountain Dew and candy. They're ready to go.
Yeah, they want to go back in and I completely understand that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do see your point of why if we've completed it and left, can't we go back in and run it again? I do see that.
Mm-hmm.
They did, however, shorten the waiting time on the instance finder from 5 minutes to 1 minute.
Yeah.
I was really happy to see that because it's like, okay, I'm gonna go get something to drink. I'm gonna go kill about half a dozen things. Okay, now I'm ready to go into the instance by myself, but I wanted the bonus, so
Mm-hmm.
I let it pick a random instance.
I would like to see pretty much every quest in the game be repeatable. And I don't mean for experience or legendary experience. I'm talking about just being able to do it again. And if we need a reward, just give some money or give some skirmish marks or something like that. Um, I would really like to see a lot of people that play in the Shire. We always hear about these people that just don't leave the Shire because they love the Shire. They always park their hobbits there and and keep hobbits there. Give them the quests again to do. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you want to pull in a group of friends and just walk through uh, and and go on an adventure and somebody's already done some of these quests already, just have them open up, and do them again. No, you don't need rewards or anything like that. It's just for a role-playing element, but
Hmm.
why not? I mean, this a lot of people role play in this game, and I think they would love that feature.
Yes, and for 250 turbine points, we will unlock all of the the quests in the Shire for you
Hmm.
again.
Hmm.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah. Interesting thought.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I got all these experience point items things for my legendary
Yep,
weapons
the little
just sitting
rune
around.
thingies. Yep. Have-
Yeah, let's find a way to merge these things. Come on.
Yeah, because yes, I've got 5 of these and 10 of the. I've got about a half of.
I got some that are worth like 500,
Yeah.
and then I got some that are worth like 50,000.
Uh-huh.
Merge them. Come on.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Um, so we can flag ourselves for fellowing with each other, like with friends.
Mhm.
So let's just go ahead and flag ourselves for rating as well.
That's cool. Um,
Why not?
Armiga suggests that we have more than 5 quests at a time showing too.
Uh, sure.
Yep.
I've always felt that's five seemed all right for me. Um, and it seems like the game kind of gives you about 5 or 6, especially in these revamped areas where you just walk in, you pick up 5 or 6, and you're out.
Yeah. They seem to.
So they seem to do the math pretty well. But there are times where there is an extra one and you can't have it up on your panel. Um, Going off topic for a second, I really hate those quests that tell you, okay, you could go do these other 4 quests, and then when you're done with those 4 quests, you can come back and talk to me. And that guy, is a quest, and he stays on your panel.
No, he doesn't.
You know,
He goes away so I can see where the rest of the quests are.
yeah, I'm bumping that one.
Yeah, that's an automatic wait. Why am I? Oh yeah.
We used to call that a master quest. I'd be like, oh, there's a master quest, because you get the other quests off of him, and you just take them off your quest panel, and you'll be all right until you come back.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I could see why people would get kind of confused with that too.
Yes.
Okay,
No, back to
back
the
to topic.
XP, the XP room.
Mm-hmm.
Mama said suggests that he would also like them to be able to use stacks of refs items at one shot rather than clicking 150 times, which I usually do while I'm riding a horse because they
Oh,
allow
that'd be
you
great.
to click that as you're going from stable to stable.
Mm-hmm. That would be a great idea as well. Um, Everybody likes scaled instances.
Yes.
I don't know that many people that don't like scaled instances. I know people would rather have new ones,
But they'll take scaled.
But they'll take scaled, yeah. When they hear, okay, we're going to scale one, people are like, okay. That happened with Erebor when the Erebor instances came out, and it was just like two bosses in one arena, go fight. And they're like, can we just get a raid hub? And they're like, oh, we're going to scale Mirkwood. Okay. I'd love to see Moria done.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Really, really would like to see Moria done. A lot of people say that Tower of Orthanc and those raids should be done. And Turbine sounds like they're leaning that way because they're newer and the code is newer.
Mhm.
No. Go do Moria. The code there is old. Just yank it all out and do it. Do it.
Yeah.
And then you can do Tower of Orthanc because it's easier.
Okay.
Even if they have to do it in sections, like just okay, here's this raid, this 3 months, and then here's this raid, the next 3 months. Here's Turtle. Hey, remember Turtle? Yeah.
I know people who still do Turtle like daily. I don't know why they're doing Turtle daily, but they do.
They want that little baby turtle.
Oh, is that it? Is that it?
Yep, there's a little baby turtle that you can put on your lawn.
I want a little baby turtle.
And he goes, "Row," and then when he walks, like you hear boom, boom, boom. But he's really tiny. He's like as big as your character's feet.
Oh, how hard is it? Must be hard to get the little baby.
I think his name is Nanu. Yep, that's why people run Turtle still.
Oh.
Other than getting first agers for their level 60 characters.
Okay.
Which brings me to the next one. Scale the legendary items. Just do it.
Yeah.
We got these legendary weapons. We have these legendary weapons that we keep rebuilding all the dang time. Always.
They asked him about scaling the stuff for the five levels and the 5 levels and the Tech and the Hobbits to Isengard, and the answer is nope. New gear and new allies. That's the way it works.
Come on. The system's already in place. When you go into an epic battle, all of your stuff scales up. That includes your legendary weapon as well. It scales. Just make it permanent.
Yeah.
$20. Just scale it. Just do it.
Okay.
Oh, man. Come on. All right. Here's another complaint.
Yes.
Cosmetic weapons and shields.
Never gonna happen. They said it's never gonna happen.
They said that with the mailbox.
Okay. They've said that very recently that it's never gonna happen.
They can do this. Why? I have no idea that they didn't. It's just a weapon and a shield. They do everything else.
Yeah.
They do our hats, our gloves, our feet, our pants, our butt. Everything. They won't do it for weapons and shields. Why?
Don't know. They said there were reasons. For reasons, Layanor. For reasons.
Yeah, and they said that about the mailbox as well.
This is true.
Never gonna happen, they said.
And they fixed it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Paid hobbies.
Okay.
Well, as I have it written here, let's face it, they're not going to put in anything that isn't linked to turbine points or mithril coins. So there has to be some sort of a profit in there. So I'm going to be kind of brainstorming and looking things up and making a blog post about this.
Yeah. I think it would be cool. I mean, you pay through the nose for golf. Why not play through the nose for golf in your video game?
What if there was a hobby called horse tending or horse teaching or something like that, where over the course of 2 months, let's say, maybe even shorter, where you keep handling this horse at one of the stables. We did this for Rohan when Rohan first came out. We were tending to a horse. What if we made that into a hobby and kept teaching a horse, to do things, just little things every day, to the point where the the max is your horse goes a little bit faster at the end, like another 5% or another 8%
Oh,
or something like that.
okay. I see.
What if there was something where we could, with the materials that we gain, we can kind of make makeshift, I've said this so many times before, bandages
Hmm.
to heal yourself as you're questing through areas. So this is kind of like put this together here, boom, you got a bandage. Now you're healing over time for 10 seconds, 20 points each or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And and at the end of it, you just have something that you can make at the end. It's not as bad, it's not as good as these scholar potions, but it's something that helps you out until you do get really good potions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a tier under the potions, but it's a bandage. It's a hobby thing that you just did. Um, I would pay some points for that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't pay no expensive $20 for that, but I'd pay like $2, $3, $5 for, a cool little hobby thing that I'm gonna get something at the end
Mm-hmm.
for doing.
Okay.
So if anybody has any cool ideas for hobbies, please send them in. Um, there are all kinds of things that they could add for hobbies. It'd be great. And it's not an end game thing, so all those low level and mid game players would be doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's my soapbox.
Okay.
And then one more.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's always had this. A new PvP map.
Yeah.
Well, we got Gondor coming, which is
Yeah.
huge
You
fights
should
all over the place.
you should be
We
able
we
to
can
do it.
turn Yeah, we could turn the old Ettenmoors and just flip it into a PvE area. Leave it the way it is, the quests and all that. Scatter out a bunch of NPCs and just leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Say the orcs took over and you go out there and you quest a little bit more, make it a questing area. Just make it so people can go and visit it still and have a little bit of fun with it with their low levels.
Mm-hmm.
Make a new PvP area in Gondor or Rohan, probably Gondor. And we'll fight there.
Okay.
I'm sure there's going to be people that say, no, I want to keep it to Animors, but we're keeping it, but let's move.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm probably going to be thinking of a few more things later on down the line. So if you guys want to keep an eye on this post on this blog, please feel free and send in comments to the show or the blog. I'll probably just read the blog on the show anyway. So send comments in. I would love to hear what people would like to see changed, other than the Hobbit woman walk.
No, don't touch that one. You
Yeah,
learn
you got to put it back to the other animation. The other animation was much better.
the stomping angry woman with a pan in her hand walk?
Yes.
Okay. Now if you
She
had
looked like she had weight.
she looked like she should have a frying pan in her hand and she was going to go smack her husband in the back of the head because he talked
Well, have you
rosy.
seen the Lord of the Rings movies? A lot of those women in there look that way.
I know. That was our news.
That was our news.
Now, later, you're going to tell us something we needed to know.
Yeah, if I could find it. Ah, there it is.
Okay.
I wrote a blog.
Again?
Again. It's very productive this week.
Mm.
There it goes. It loaded. This week's Did You Know is about epic battle promotion points.
Okay.
There was a very nice picture that somebody sent in to me, and what it is it shows all the promotion slots that you can spend points on,
Mm-hmm.
and shows their cost.
Okay.
Now, I didn't know this, but the ones that were at the top four are really cheap. They're all at 15 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another section underneath that of four, which is 30, and then another section, which is 45. And then we have five at the bottom, which are worth 60.
Okay.
After looking at this chart, I started thinking, well, wait a minute. If I'm spending points in things that I don't need, I could just put it in things that I want, and it will rank me faster because I'm spending less points on more things.
Okay.
I mean, that's just kind of how this thing works. If I bought all of the top four, which are all worth 15 each, this puts me at like rank 3 or rank 4 right away.
Oh, okay.
What I have been doing is I've been buying everything down this tree to make the rank go on the left side, which works as well, but you're overspending, especially if there's things that you don't want to spend points on.
Yeah, I didn't know you could skip.
So this chart just kind of opened my eyes, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna play with this." So I made a second picture underneath this, and it shows the things that I spent my points on. I spent 15 each on the first four, and then I did some more on the trap line, which are in the center, which were around let me look at the other chart, 30 and I think 45.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me all the way to rank 6, and I could spend points anywhere at that point. Everything was unlocked on the board.
Oh, okay.
So I started putting some, so I started buying some things that were at the very bottom. And I got just 1 point or one rank in whatever that bottom one is. I can't remember what it is, but
The spiky
I
foot
could
one.
start purchasing the spiky foot one, yes. I could start buying those really expensive 60-point ones at the bottom,
Okay.
just because I unlocked a lot of things that were at the top and didn't really play in the middle that much. So this is dang useful knowledge.
Yeah, because for some reason I thought you had to pick the top and then go to the next row and then the next row and then the next row and the next row. I didn't know you could jump.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's exactly what I thought too. I was like, oh, wow. So I had to make this a did you know?
All right, our three mans are still on hiatus. We haven't heard from Rarg. Hopefully the surgery went well on his arm, and we should have an update for you next week to let you guys know.
Maybe he'll have a bionic arm.
Maybe that's what the surgery was for. Was for a bionic arm. That has
Maybe he'll put his arm up and it'll like kind of flex a little bit and go bam and just like bust right through his shirt like and it'll be all shiny metal, like Colossus, if you ever seen Colossus from X-Men, and you're like raw and rawr.
But we will be getting back to it soon. And in community, casual CSTM has updated their hedge maze as well as updating the festival guide for 2014. So you can see pretty pictures of what the pet shrew looks like Spots the spotted shrew. He's kind of cute. And Dusty the dusty shrew. What creative names. They have, these shrews remind me of the elephant from Horton Hears a Who movie.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's got the big ears, but they're super cute. And she's got a very nice map with the quickest route and the update. And she was super excited to see that they'd updated the map as well, made it easier. Nice. There's a couple of things for the maze that the quality of life things. So the tabbing on things doesn't work like tabbing on how you tab to the next NPC or whatever. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. It doesn't work on the elves, but you can hit the escape key or the backspace or whichever key it is to tab the item. And whatever it is you're looking for in your quest, whether it be beer or signs or chickens or whatever, I don't know about chickens, but it will point you to it, and then you can follow your little leading. I have a little trail, breadcrumb trail that's red, shows me which direction indicator. Made it a whole lot
Mm.
easier. It's made it a whole lot easier to figure out where you need.
Can we kick the chickens?
No, I don't think you can kick the. You can try. I don't think they'll notice though.
I'm gonna try
Okay.
real hard. Bam!
Yep.
And then Rog's gonna come in and go, Rarg!
And his bionic arms. Yes, exactly. All right.
If you are looking for a new PC, then check out doghousesystems.com and use the coupon code MMOReporter to double your RAM. If you are looking for a audiobook about X-Men and Rarg, then you might want to check out audible.com/MMOReporter to get 1 month free, and you get one audiobook a month?
Yes, 1 credit for an audiobook a month. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it always throws me off. That I should really just sign up and get something so I understand.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. If you'd like to send us an email, you can email us at lotro.reporter@gmail.com. You can tweet us at LOTRO Reporter. You can find us on Facebook. Just do a search for LOTRO Reporter. You can leave us a voicemail at 616-666-6778. Or you can use the widget on the right-hand side of your screen when you visit our site, which is LOTROreporter.com. You can check us out on YouTube at www.youtube.com/user/MMOReporterNetwork. Layanor has done a lot of work on our YouTube channel, and now you can watch things in series and find all kinds of cool information, as well as, if it's your thing, you can be listening to our lovely voices via YouTube instead of downloading it.
It's so pretty looking now.
You did a beautiful job.
Yep. Now I can neglect it for 4 months.
And you can, of course, follow us on twitch.tv/MMOReporter and know when any show on the network goes live, as well as things like Layanor's Middle-earth at War, our 3-man instances. Wildstar is coming fairly soon. I know Chris will be streaming a whole ton of that launch day probably, or within.
And pretty much anything that's new coming out. I think that we might be doing some more Request Next Landmark as well. So
Okay. Didn't they just
whatever we can get our little hands on.
Yeah, do some Landmark. I do know that June 14th, I've already blocked out the entire Saturday for Weatherstock, so we've got that one booked too. So that's coming. So if your computer can't run Weatherstock, we'll make sure you get to see it.
That's right.
Yes, and then I have to clean that's going to be a busy weekend. Never mind. All right, you can follow me on Twitter at the Cari Mac. It's TheCariMac.
And you can Twitter me at Layanor, Layanor. Twit me and I will stand on my head.
Cool. With pictures?
No.
Okay. Oh, you don't wear pants. Never mind. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I think on that note, we're done for the evening. Thank you for downloading. And as always, we do hope to see you in game.